it's really difficult to resist. But luckily, I don't resist my urge to explore AI and technology in teaching and learning. So I'm just putting on my camera so that I can greet you. I'm going to share my screen. And since you're on my second screen, I don't want to look funny in my camera. So I'll just switch off my camera when I start sharing my screen. I really want today to be as practical and engaging as possible. So I'm going to keep my eye on the chat, and there is going to be short, small, I'm not going to call it activities, just some engagement from the group so that I can just see where the skill levels are and what tools you are used to using. So that was just my short introduction, and now I'm going to switch off my camera and start sharing my screen. I'm going to share the AI toolkit for lecturers that I designed for the Northeast University. I was spending a lot of time playing around with AI, and then the director of the AI hub at the Northeast University asked me to compile all of the tools you will see in this toolkit. So the idea was to find tools that are free, safe, and good that lecturers can use in their classrooms and in their online spaces, especially when working with their students or creating content for their classrooms. So this is the AR Toolkit for lecturers. It is available on the NW website. So you can just Google NW at AI, and then the first hyperlink that pops up, you'll see there is a link to the AI Toolkit for lecturers. So it is available, but just remember, these are just recommended tools. It's not necessarily supported by the Center for Teaching and Learning or the Northeast University. So I just want to also go through, make sure you use AI ethically and responsibly, and stick to your institution's IT rules on information that you are allowed to insert into different AI tools. So the first page of the tool is the text and chat assistance. I'm not going to waste too much time on this section because most of us are all aware of these text and chat assistants like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek, Copilot. Everybody has their own preference, but I do want to ask a question quickly and can you just reply to me in the chat? Let's say you have to create an assignment for your students and you want to use one of these AI tools. I want just to see how you would prompt one of these tools, how they can assist you in creating that assignment. I'm going to give you like 2 minutes or 2 minutes just to paste in the chat so that I can just see how you engage with different AI tools and what your prompting style is like, because I have a big belief, especially with AI, trash in, trash out. So if you don't provide it with clear enough instructions, it's not going to provide you with any good output. So I'm just going to give a few minutes for you to just paste the way that you would engage with the text and chat assistants, especially when designing an assignment or assessment for your students. I see some people are typing. Hopefully the whole group can type so that we have a lot of engagement and a lot of answers. There's not a wrong or right answer. I just really want to see what is the level that you are engaging in with these different text and chat assistants. Thank you, Michaela. That looks like a decent quick prompt for any AI chat and text assistant to assist with creating an assignment or an assessment. For being specific, AI works best when you provide context. I agree. The more information you provide AI, the better output it will give you. The reason why I want to see how you prompt different AI tools is I just want to show you I'm not going to call it a master prompt, but a prompt that is very detail orientated for creating assessments and assignments. And then whatever tool you use should give you an excellent answer. So I'm just going to show you the AI prompt to generate assessments, assignments, or class activities. So I'm just going to quickly talk through it, the prompt structure. You complete the fields in the brackets. So you start copying. I will share this in the chat as well, and I will share this resources so that they can send it to you afterwards. But my prompt starts here. You're a specialist in South African higher education, and I'll scroll down all the way. If you don't know what the AI assessment scale is, you can remove it because it's not applicable at your university. But at the Northwest University, we make use of the AI assessment scale. So it's from 1 to 5, 1 being no AI and 5 being full AI. But if it's not applicable to your university, you can just remove it. But as you can see, I'm still copying my prompt. I'm still copying my prompt, and I'm still copying my prompt. So I'm just going to paste my prompt into the chat, and you can use it to play around while we are going through the toolkit, or you can just do it as an exercise afterwards. I'm just sending it in the chat. As you see, all the fields in the brackets you can customize that is applicable onto your module. You can ask what type of assignment or assessment it should be. You just fill in the brackets and it should give you a really good assessment to start off from. So I just wanted to show to you where the difference is between a prompt, for example, that give me an assignment for this. If you give it a lot more information and a lot more detail, it will give you really specific and a really valuable assessment that you can use for your students. So please always make sure that you do work through the assignment or assessment that the AI has generated, and you as lecturer have the authority to decide what you are going to use, how you want to change it, and how to adapt it for your specific module or learning need. Okay, so that's just a quick way. I just wanted to talk about prompting with different AI chat and text tools. You're welcome to even give me critique on my prompt if it's too long or too detailed. I do really appreciate the feedback. So that was just a quick section on the text and chat assistance. Now I want to go into research and knowledge tools. So one of my favorite tools to use is Notebook LM. So just with a raise of hands, who is aware of Notebook LM? Just want to see who in the crowd have been using this tool. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope not the whole group, because this is one of my favorite tools to use. But I'm just gonna show you what it looks like when we start it. So Notebook LM is developed by Google, and it's I want to say a closed sandbox AI tool that you can work with. So when you just search Notebook LM into Google, you can go in, create your profile, and then upload any documents, and then you can start to engage with the notebook. So I just uploaded an article on the assessment scale that I just referenced in that prompt. So the AI assessment scale, now I can interact and engage with this article that I uploaded. So I just want to show you some cool features of Notebook LM that really makes it a valuable teaching, learning, and research tool. So on the right-hand side, you will see there is the studio option with a lot of different options. So I already clicked on most of these options just so that it already loaded and we don't have to wait for the tool to generate, because I don't want to waste your time. So the first one I want to show you that I find very valuable, especially if you want to show to your or visualize to your students how concepts are related in your module or subject, is if you click on the mind map, the tool will generate a mind map on the information that you uploaded into it. So this is now based on the AI assessment scale, the article. So now I want to see what the 5 points is. I just click on this expansion button and it expands the different levels. And then if I want to go into more detail to see how these are connected, I can just click on expand. And if I don't know a concept, or if I don't understand something fully, I can just click on the concept. It will open the chat box of Notebook LM. It will ask a question. As you see, it asks that question automatically, and then it will answer the question on, let's just say, the human completed whatever level 1. So another very useful function of Notebook LM when you are doing research or when you are working with different policies or guidelines or just different study material of the handbook is the footnote function that it automatically includes in the statement it makes. So when it answers a question, it leaves these small little footnotes next to the statement or the answer. So when I click on this, it goes directly to the source where I am, what that I uploaded, and it shows where it got that information from. So this is very handy when you are engaging with different literature and you are comparing what different authors said about something. Then you can see at what source it obtained that answer from, and then you can reference correctly, or you can make sure that you understand the concepts or the point that the author is trying to make correctly. You go directly to the original source, and then you can decide for yourself if that was the meaning that you got from it. So this is a really valuable function of the tool when you're doing research, but also when you are studying or trying to get your head around new policies or guidelines. I use this function every day of my life. So another part I want to show you, that was now the chat and then the mind map. But another function I want to show you is this infographic. So you can edit the request to generate an infographic. You can select the language, the orientation, the level of detail, and then you can give it a short description like the colors or the focus. So this is today I tested it out with the NW colors and then just the focus on the 5 levels of the AI assessment scale. So it took about, I want to say, between 5 and 7 minutes to generate this infographic. It's not perfectly the brand identity of the Northeast University, but it is the correct logo. It's just our logo isn't split in the 3 colors, and then it is the university's colors. So once again, if you want to make content visually available to your students and you're not necessarily the best designer, you can tell Notebook LM in the infographic section what the info. As a designer, I'm not sold on those type of tools yet, but I will say it as yes, I agree. I love Canva myself. I'm not a designer, but I love creating stuff myself. But if you're not necessarily the most creative lecturer, or if your resources are limited, these tools are available for us to use. So I think when you're generating maybe learning content, I'm not learning content, but content for your LMS or for your slideshows, this is a quick and easy way that lecturers have access to a bit more design. And if they want to narrow their focus, they can really use this tool to just make their learning content a bit more entertaining for their students. So it took Notebook LM about 5 to 7 minutes to generate this infographic, and it is based on the 5 levels. It did make some mistakes here and there, so you do have to work through it. Like for example, this requirement at the first level where there's no AI assistance, it reference Copilot, but you shouldn't actually use any AI tools there. So I would remove that requirement. So I would just then copy this image and then edit it on Canva or something like that. But it is a great starting point, though. Or if you are just stuck and you don't know how to express it visually, maybe throw it in here and see the suggestions. And if you are a designer, you can get a feel of maybe inspiration. It's just a cool functionality of the tool. Another cool functionality of the tool is the audio overview, which is essentially a podcast, but you can also now edit the podcast. It's not just a deep dive where it's two presenters talking to each other. You can have a brief, a critique, or a debate, and then you have settings about the length. You want it to be short or long, what the focus area should be, and once again, you can select the language. I just think I have to reshare with my sound. So I'm just quickly going to stop sharing and reshare again to make sure that you'll be able to hear. So with the first podcast I created, I just asked for a quick, brief summary on the 5 levels of the AI assessment scale. So I'm just quickly going to play it, and please just react if you can hear. If you can hear the audio overview.
This is the brief on the AI assessment scale. So, what is this thing? Well, it's a practical 5 point framework that a team of researchers came up with. It's designed to help educators move beyond that whole are.
So this is a really cool functionality that I think is very valuable, especially when you are creating um, a more accessible learning space for your students. You can add in different short voice clips into your LMS space where your students can maybe listen to a summary of the study unit or a summary of the module. And you just make it a bit more interactive and a bit more fun for your students, just to ensure that they really engage with your learning environment. Or you can make a full podcast of this article now, or of your learning content. I'm just going to play it for you so that you can hear the difference.
Do you remember exactly where you were in late 2022, specifically November?
As you can hear, it's going to be a podcast on the AI assessment scale, and there's going to be 2 presenters. But it has this really cool functionality where you can interact with the podcast and ask a question. I'm not going to do it because I have to then ask the question with my voice, and then sometimes it doesn't pick up. But I do recommend go play around with this if they do not get to the point quick enough. Um, as you can see, it's a 17-minute podcast on this article. So you can interact and ask them different questions, and they will answer it for you. It's a really valuable function, I think. And if you don't have necessarily all the time to read, I'm not saying do not read, I'm just saying if you want to save time on reading an article or reading a new policy or a guideline, create a podcast, listen to it while you're driving to work, or listen to it while you're cooking or whatever. We do have the technology at hand, so use it as smart as you can. Save yourself a bit time and really listen to what's being said. And then if something goes off, if the light bulb goes off in your head, you can go back to the article and then start to interact with Notebook LM and ask the questions that made that light bulb go on. Then another cool functionality is if you click on the reports, you will see you can create your own report, you can get a briefing doc, a study guide, a blog post, or they suggest suggest different reports that it can create for you. I just clicked on the study guide report. So this is not how we at universities know what a study guide is. This is more just short answers for a quiz, short answer quiz, and then the answers, then essay questions, and then a glossary of key terms. So when you are making new learning content and you don't necessarily want to manually type all the definitions or look up everything, this is a tool that does save a lot of time and you can confirm it. But this is a good way, a good starting point for the tool to just give you a summary when you are creating new learning content for your students. So as you can see, there is this video overview and a slide deck and flashcards. So those are all learning tools that you can use, and I think you should suggest this tool to your students when they are preparing for exams. I just want to give a small, not a warning, I don't know what to call it, but the video overview isn't like a full animated video as we know. It is more of a slideshow presentation of the content with a voice. So it's not like a full video. It's not an animated video or people. It's more like a slideshow with sound added. I just quickly want to see what's in the chat, and then I'll go on to my next tool. Okay. Okay. So that was Notebook LM. I'm not going to work through all of the research and knowledge tools, but as I think most of you know, Perplexity, Google AI Studio, Licit, Research Rabbit. I just want to not waste time and going through all of these tools. So QNews, Consensus, Genie AI, Insightful, Rightful. I don't know if you have access to all of these software, but Rightful is similar to Grammarly. And at the Northwest University, we do have a university-wide license, and our academic integrity officer have been testing the difference between paraphrasing tools, Rightful, Grammarly, and currently she says Rightful um, is not being picked up as much as AI written content when you use it for editing or just like a spell checker. She says it does really work well with Turnitin. So that was just a tip I wanted to mention to the group. Then some visualization and image tools. Sorry again for the designer, but one of the cool tools that I find very valuable is called Napkin AI. As you can see, I have this blank document, but now I want to just maybe spruce it up with some images. So the way that you use Napkin AI is you just select the text that you want a visualization on. You click on Generate Visual, and the app or the tool is going to start thinking, or not thinking, it's going to start suggesting ways that you can visualize this content. So as you can see, it has multiple different suggestions that's already designed and colors. Pick the most applicable one. You can also select different categories, and you can, once you select it, you can select your style and everything. You can edit the colors, the fonts, you can swap the layout, swap the branding, and it's just a quick way to visualize something, uh, um, to visualize text. So even if you just want to make quick visualizations for your slides, or if you're making content for your learning management system, this is a very handy tool. Just if you don't have the designing experience, or if you just want a starting point to go to one of your university's designers and tell them you need help, you want something similar to this, but you want different icons or what. So it's just a cool tool that works really fast in suggesting how to visualize certain text. And I just think it's a really awesome tool. So now I just want to first move this thing, and then I want to show you examples of how I use ChatGPT and Sora. Now, Sora is ChatGPT's video generation tool, but you can use it for image generation, and you get, I think, 12 images free a day. So the idea was, how can I, as a lecturer, try to challenge my students, but not, I don't necessarily have all the skills to do it myself. So let's say, for example, I am an art history lecturer, and I want my students to identify different types of artists, different mediums that they use, um, the time frame when the painting was done. Then a tool that you can use is ChatGPT to help you with the prompt, and then Sora to generate the image for you. So for example, I uploaded this picture of the Eiffel Tower that I took when I was there, and I asked Sora, or firstly, I asked ChatGPT for the different prompts on how to change this image into the style of different artists. So it gave me this output. So then the task of my students would be, I would only provide them the image and tell them to identify the artist, identify the materials that were used, identify the time frame. So this is just a way that your students can um, engage with their module content in a different way, and to try to do it in a more creative way. This doesn't necessarily have to be the most high risk assessment. It's just to maybe a class quiz or something like that, just to get it flowing. It took me a few minutes to do, and I think it will really increase engagement and activity within your sessions. So as you can see, it gave me a beautiful picture of Pablo Picasso in the style of Pablo Picasso, and I just tested it out with different artists and styles, just to see what just to see the different outputs that Sora can give me. So if you do not teach something as visually as art, I had the idea of, if I was a chemistry lecturer, I would provide my students with this copper coin, and then I will show them different visual reactions to the copper. So then the students need to identify which chemical reaction took place, why did it take place, how long would it take to take place, how can you prevent it from taking place. So it's just a different way of imagining different assessments. You're still testing their content knowledge on the reaction on copper or different metals or whatever. I'm not a chemistry lecturer, so I don't know all the terminology, but this is just an easier way you can test your students through a different system, maybe for them to visually identify what went wrong and then motivate why it went wrong. So once again, I'm just giving you the prompt that I used and the output that I got. I will share this so that you can try it for yourself. Um, I'm just explaining how to use AI creatively and how you can translate this to different disciplines and how you can do it for yourself. So it's just, once again, different examples of chemical reactions that happens to copper. I don't know if we have any chemists in the room, and please stop me if the reactions are exaggerated, but these looked very nice for me, and I think students will be able to identify what went wrong if they did engage with their content, with their module content. So once again, I'm just giving you an example of assessment instructions for the students, the learning outcomes, and why this will work. And then you can just adapt it for your module. Here I'm giving that long prompt again, but I will share this slideshow with you to access at your own time. Then I'm just going back to the toolkit. So we went through Napkin AI, and I talked a bit about Sora and the image generation that I did with that. Now I want to talk about presentation creation and um, tools that you can use for it. I have to give a warning. Please use these tools at your own discretion. The free presentation tools are not that great. They are very generic, and they are mostly focused on, I want to say, big fields like medicine, sports, and business. So you can try out one of these tools, try to see if you like the presentations that it generated. If I really want to use a tool now for, I want to say, a presentation, I would go back to Notebook LM, and I will test out the slide deck or the video overview, because they're going to give you a similar quality, I want to say, of an automated generalized PowerPoint. So if you have the more pro licenses like ChatGPT Pro, or you have the Copilot, the paid license, they do create better presentations, but you still need to prompt it really good and be really specific, and you still need to edit it afterwards. So, but go play around with these tools if you want to test out different tools for presentation creation. Then another topic that's a bit difficult is video creation. So the reason why video AI tools are so expensive is because it takes a lot of resources to generate video generated or AI generated videos. So the one video tool that is kind of freemium, it's called InVideo AI. I'm just going to show you a very bad video that I created when I was still playing around and looking for different tools. So I'm just gonna click on the play button. It got the colors wrong, it got the logos wrong, but just to give you an idea, and that the videos that it generates isn't that long, and it works on a credit system. So I think you can only generate 2 to 3 videos a month for free. So I'm just going to show you. It's not bad, but it's not how we expect video generation should be. So I'm just going to press play. So didn't really understand my prompt fully. I wanted the Northwest University logo to explode in and then turn into a lecturer's office with NW branding everywhere. So as you can see, it didn't really understand the prompt clearly, and it doesn't give you enough time, I think, for the AI to really generate a good video. So just be cautious when you are using video generation tools. If you have a pro Canva license, they do have a good AI video generation, but you only get, I think, about 5 videos a month, and then you're also limited to the length of the video. But it's really good with the sound. It already includes sound, and if you upload a photo of a character, it will use that character to generate the video. So it's really good when you want to make a static image. If you want to animate it, it's really good, but it's once again, it is a paid tool. So then the last tool I want to talk about is SpeechMa. So this tool, I feel, is one of the best free tools available out there. So SpeechMa is a tool that turns text into audio generation, audio clips. But the reason why I really, sorry, let me just watch an ad. The reason why I really value this tool is because we can, as you can see, enter your text there, then you should just enter the verification code, but you can also select different personalities. And the reason why I want to really suggest this tool is because they do have South African voices. I'm just going to say all languages. So they do have South African voices and they talk with South African accents. I'll play some of them for you now, so you can just hear. But this is really a great tool if you're focusing on multilingualism and making your learning environment more accessible to students with disabilities or disadvantages. And it doesn't sound like that American or British generated AI voice that most of us are very tired of. So you can just maybe type in the chat who you want to listen to. For English, Leah or Luke. For Afrikaans, Audrey or Willem. And for Zulu, Tandu or Temba. And I would need somebody, if we have a Zulu speaker in the room, to confirm if they are talking correctly. So you can just maybe type a name in the chat and I will play one of these personalities for you so you can just hear what it sounds like. It does really sound South African. So I see the first name is Tandu. So let's give Tandu a listen. I cannot verify if this is accurate Zulu. So please verify if it is accurate.
Siyakwamukela ku-Speechma lapho amazwi akho abe umsindo wekhwalithi ephezulu ngokuchofoza okukodwa. Jabulela ukuguqulwa kombhalo ube
Can everybody hear? You can just react maybe if you heard Tandu speaking. I'm not sure if it's the same voice used in Duolingo. So let's see Luke. Let's give Luke a listen.
Welcome to Speechma, where your words transform into high-quality audio with just a click. Enjoy free, unlimited text-to-speech conversions that bring your content to life in multiple languages and voices. Whether you're creating YouTube videos, TikTok clips, podcast intros, or presentation voiceovers, Speechma empowers you with.
So I hope all of you can hear the beautiful South African accent when we are listening to Luke. I feel that's a lot more comforting than some cold and distant American or British accent that I'm not familiar with. And then let's just see, we'll give Audrey a listen for the Afrikaans.
Welkom by Speechma, waar jou woorde met net 'n klik en 'n kwaliteit klank omgeskakel word. Geniet gratis onbeperkte teks na spraakomskakelings wat jou inhoud in verskeie tale en stemme lewendig maak. Of jy nou uittype video's,
So as you can hear, they really did put in a bit more effort than your general text-to-audio tools, and I feel we should try to promote our South African dialects and accents as far as we can and make our students also feel a bit more home. So this is a really valuable tool, especially when you focus on accessibility to your learning environment, or if you just want to make the content a bit more engaging and interactive for your students. So the last thing I want to show you, I don't know if all of you saw these cartoon trend that's going around with AI. So after about, I want to say 6 or 7 tries, I finally got this picture from ChatGPT, but it really gave me a struggle. So I'm just going to provide you with the prompt that I used to do this. And if ChatGPT doesn't generate you accurately, ask it to ask you a few questions before it tries again. So if tell ChatGPT to ask you a few questions about yourself before it tries to generate the image again. because the first time I tried it, I think it made me an electrician or something like that. And my ChatGPT knows all about what I do every day for my job. So I don't know why it made me an electrician. So I said, okay, you're completely off. Please ask me a few questions before you continue. And then I got a really over dramatic cartoon, and I told it I don't want to be overly dramatic. I want to still look human. I want to look like myself. And then I just engage a bit more with ChatGPT. And about 6 or 7 prompts later, this is the image that I got that I was quite happy with. It shows my interests in data analytics, in human resources, in staff development, in um, that I work for the university. So I was overall happy with this, and it kind of looks like me. I look a bit crazy with my Einstein hair, but that's probably my future. So nothing to complain about. So before I say goodbye, do we have any questions from the group or anything that I should go over with again? You can just open your mic or just type in the chat, and I'll try to answer as best. So I'm taking no questions from the group, so I'll just give over to Dr. van Wyk.
Thank you, John. I have a question. Do you also allow the students to use these tools in activities, for example, or is it only, or are you focused mainly on the lecturers?
Well, the part I work for at the Center for Teaching and Learning is staff development. So my focus is mostly on staff. But we did have a request earlier this year if the students are allowed to use the toolkit. And we said, well, we can't allow our staff to use something we can't deny our students to use it. So it's the way on how we incorporate the AI assessment scale. So if you are as familiar with the scale as I am, and at our university, the guidelines states that the lecturer decides on what level of AI the students are allowed to engage with in different assessments and assignments. So I think our lecturers would even share some of these tools with their own students. So I don't want to say, no, it's only for lecturers. I feel the more people that can use this and use this responsibly and ethically and try to actually learn with these tools and take the advantage of AI supported learning, that's the best way to go forward. So I wouldn't deny a student to use any of these tools. It should just be used ethically and responsibly, and they shouldn't try to cheat the system. They should really try to learn or incorporate it into their learning experience and into their learning and understanding.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm also thinking about if you teach, for example, in the Faculty of Education, they are the people who are going to do the work that we are currently doing in education, and they need to be well versed in these tools. Yeah, thank you so much. Is there anybody else who wants to ask a question? Maybe wants access to something? It sounds a bit quiet. It looks like you have stunned all of them.
So maybe I bored all of them to sleep.
I don't think so. The interesting thing about working with these tools is the way how they advance. So the one moment it can only do an audio recording or like the podcast of Notebook LM, and the next time when you open it up, oh, you can make a video now, and the next time, oh, here's a mind map. And so it gives you a lot of opportunities to play with if you are lucky and have time to do that. But in any case, thank you so much. Thank you for showing us ways to make our content more visually appealing to our students, to break the constant just having text to engage with. But to also make our work easier. And I think all of us work with content a lot, and we want ways to make it to package it in shorter chunks to fit also with the micro learning and all of those things that is happening. So thank you so much to sharing that with us as well. And we would really hope to, in the future, have another conversation with you, because I think everything will change rapidly in the next year. Sorry, there's something wrong with my voice suddenly. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time after hours to come and engage with us.